welcome to my channel and thank you for being here. I'm going to be talking about a synastry aspect, the aspect of Venus conjunct Neptune. This is a very romantic aspect. This is the aspect of love is blind. This is a true romantic connection that is very binding and difficult to get out of. And difficult to get out of because it feels so good. They will feel like your soulmate or your twin flame. It will feel as though you've been spelled or bewitched. Or perhaps you have. Whenever there's Neptune involved, there's some sense of magic, fantasy, and delusion. So when you're in that Neptune romantic haze, you're going to feel like you've met Prince Charming, you've met the one, your soulmate. Are you sure your Prince Charming is really a prince, or is he a frog? Take another look. Planet Venus and Neptune conjunct once a year. This is considered to be one of the most romantic days of the year. This year it's going to happen conveniently very close to Valentine's. It's happening at 24 degrees of Pisces on the 15th of February 2023. So if you've been in a long-term relationship and you're planning to propose, choose this day. You can make it into a really romantic and fantastical event. And for those who are single and looking to date, if you meet somebody on this day, please make sure that you're seeing this. Please make sure you're seeing this person realistically. Make sure you're not looking through pink-colored glasses and building fantasies around this person and wanting to date them just for their potential. See them as they are. If you start a relationship at the time of this conjunction, you are going to have an element of delusion or fantasy or perhaps unrealistic projections towards your partner. So what is synastry? Synastry is a chart that is done by taking the charts of two people and putting them on top of each other. Basically, one chart is superimposed on the other. This is done so that we can see how the planets of each person are aspecting the planets of the other person. Synastry can tell us the karma or longevity of the relationship. Always remember, just one good aspect does not mean that a relationship is going to last forever. The whole synastry chart has to be evaluated. So if you're starting out in a relationship or you're confused about what's really happening in your relationship, I have 40% off most of my readings. So this is an excellent time for you to book a synastry chart reading. Remember, this is a limited time special. This is a limited time special, so book now. Venus-Neptune conjunction in synastry is usually described as pure love that only exists in books and movies. So there's a fantastical aspect to this conjunction. This conjunction encourages sensitivity and gentle feelings in the relationship. Venus is the planet that rules over beauty, basically what we love and value. Venus rules over the wife in a man's chart. Planet Venus is dominant in the sign of Taurus and Libra because Venus rules these planets. However, Venus is exalted in the sign of Pisces, meaning that this is the house that Venus is most comfortable in. This is like Venus's vacation house. And remember, the connection here is the fact that Pisces is ruled by Neptune. I guess this is the explanation or connection as to why Neptune is considered the higher octave of Venus. This is idealized love, romantic love. Neptune rules over film, movies, makeup, art, stories, the seas, water, gases, drugs, and alcohol. Neptune rules the sign of Pisces, which is the natural 12th house of the zodiac. It's the house of imagination and make-believe. The 12th house rules over hidden things, hidden places. It also rules the things that we do behind closed doors. Bedroom pleasures are usually done behind closed doors. And also hidden affairs. Perhaps you're dating a married man, you're not walking around in public for everybody to see. That is essentially called a hidden affair and is found in the 12th house. The other things you find in the 12th house are our hidden enemies, and our biggest hidden enemy could actually be ourselves through our self-sabotaging habits or actions. So essentially the 12th house is the house of our hidden pleasures. This is a huge house. I could go on about the 12th house. So another thing that is also important about the 12th house pertaining to this particular synastry topic is the fact that the 12th house is the house of our generational karma. And generational karma is karma that is passed on to you simply because of the family line that you were born to, your last name. So basically in this house, you could be paying for the sins of your ancestors. All these these things I'm mentioning are going to make sense to you in a little bit, so watch the entire video. When we have this conjunction in synastry with someone, we tend to put our pink glasses on. We don't want to see the person for who they truly are. We may go into a relationship with someone just for their potential. You create a fantastical, idealistic version of this person. You are so blinded by love that you want to believe that anything is possible. You want to believe that you could change this person from their true version to another version just because of your love. The person could be a thief, a drug addict, or an outright cheater. But we tell ourselves, if I love him enough, he will change. I am the person who is destined to make him change and make him faithful. Make him stop doing drugs or being a thief. This aspect can make you pick out one thing that you really love about this individual and create a whole fantasy around this one aspect while ignoring all the other very glaringly obvious negative characteristics of the person. So we love them for their potential and not for who they really are. And by the time that we start to see them for who they really are, we take off the pink glasses. Unfortunately, by that time the damage is already done. We've already been robbed, cheated on, abused, and we're left feeling hurt and damaged. This is one of my least favorite synastry aspects, and I'm very fortunate to not have experienced it. And I've seen it in some of my clients' charts, and one of my friends actually has, and one of my friends actually has this aspect natally. Most of my clients swear that this was one of their most impactful relationships. They've thought that they finally met the one. This is an aspect that could have you falling in love with a married man and have you believe that he's eventually going to leave his wife for you. In other cases, you could fall in love with a priest and have this fantasy about a relationship and that he will break his oath to be with you. This aspect is common in people who fall in love with someone they met on the internet. Somebody who they've never actually met in person, and they're sending this person money. This person has them believing that they're going to meet one day and possibly get married, and you're really drinking the Kool-Aid. This person is probably already married with children. You're being scammed, you're being deceived, you're being catfished. You're definitely in a Neptune haze. Wake up, take the pink glasses off. Start seeing things clearly. So it doesn't necessarily mean that because you have this aspect that there's deception involved or you're delusional. It is actually one of the most romantic aspects, because with true romance there has to be some element of fantasy, imagination, and creativity. So this aspect can work if there are also other aspects in the synastry that promote longevity and commitment in the relationship. So as I keep saying, the whole synastry chart has to be evaluated. So the positive aspects of this conjunction is the fact that the relationship is going to feel very tender and emotional. You're really going to indulge in each other's desires, fantasies, and other sexual needs. So there could be a lot of role playing involved here. So you can become deeply romantically involved with each other, almost to the point of obsession. So who's the person that idealizes the other? It's Venus. Venus idealizes the Neptune person. Venus meets Neptune and they're very intrigued by Neptune and they believe almost anything that Neptune says to them. So Venus starts to look at the Neptune person as the partner they've always dreamed of having. They start to build fantasies and movies in their head. This is the aspect of infatuation. Her infatuations about him is so strong that in time Neptune starts to feel really pressured to live up to Venus's ideals. So as you can see, at some point Neptune is going to really act as he truly is, not as how Venus sees him, and this is when the problems begin. Neptune cannot live up to Venus's fantasy. He tries it for some time. He cannot keep up the act. In some cases, if Neptune is negatively aspected, the Neptune person will start to take advantage of Venus because they can see that Venus is highly infatuated and highly in love with the false image of Neptune. So the main issue here is Venus is the one that creates this idealization, creates this false image of Neptune, a fantastical world of how they could live together and be happy and live together happily ever after. When Neptune fails to live up to the image that Venus is projecting on them, this is when the problems begin. And sometimes when it becomes overbearing for the Neptune person, this is when the Neptune person does something to disappoint Venus, or he just simply disappears. And since the 12th house rules over generational karma, perhaps Venus is paying for something that was done in that was done by her ancestors. It could be that her ancestors were deceivers and they deceived or hurt Neptune, and now Venus is stuck in this Neptune haze and paying for generational karma. And when this relationship ends, Venus is left bitter and hurt. So keep in mind that if you have this conjunction natally, you are going to go through the same things that I've mentioned above when Neptune transits your Venus. It could be that others will deceive you in a Neptune-Venus relationship, or that you could be the deceiver. It all depends on how this transit is going to aspect the other planets in your own natal birth chart. So when Neptune transits your Venus, this is the transit that could last a couple of years, maybe perhaps even 3 or 4 years. Because of Neptune's retrograde motions, you will probably get 3 conjunctions to your Venus. Venus conjunct Neptune transit is a very strong transit. You will be under the Neptune haze, the Neptune spell, for a couple of years. So let me know if you've experienced this aspect in synastry before. How long were you delusional? How long did you stay in the Neptune haze? And were you the Venus or the Neptune person? So once again, make sure you like this video, share this video. Also make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you'll be notified whenever I upload another video.